Are you starting or me? Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome inside Marcus Pavilion here on the campus of St. Martin's University. Sean Wally, of course, alongside my co-pilot Scott Gladstone as we get set for a two-step on this Tuesday, Scott?
Two-step on a Tuesday right here. I'm excited for it. This first one, two different teams that have been kind of hard to get a read on in this early part of the season. I'm excited for what we're going to see.
Azusa Pacific and St. Martin's getting set to do battle. Azusa Pacific, man, they just beat Western Washington by 1 point, 59-58 in the West Regional crossover down in California. A little bit of a surprise, knocking off the number 2 ranked Western Washington Vikings. Molly Whitmore led the team with 13 points for the Cougars. But watch out for Alex Loden, Scott. All around great game, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. You can do it all.
Yeah, there's a couple different playmakers on this Azusa Pacific team. You see 4 different players that are averaging double digits, and that big win over the defending runners-up. The thing that makes it that I said that they're kind of hard to read, though, is they turned around and they lost to Seattle Pacific the next game, and that's something where, part of that you can write that off to kind of the ebbs and flows and, the ups and downs. You go from such a high of beating Western Washington, feeling really good coming off that, and then kind of that letdown. But at the same time, for them, it's about trying to find consistency. And here, third straight game against a GNAC foe. Let's see how they do.
Starters for this afternoon's tip for visiting Azusa Pacific: Heimberger, Loden, Uehara, Manuel, and Whitmore. For the home Saints, they are in their white home uniforms, red numbers and trim. Galbraith, Rios, Nelson, Jade Smith, and Morris. And we are underway in Lacey, Washington for 10-minute quarters here in women's basketball. Cougars begin with the basketball, the dark jerseys, and already a turnover.
Yeah, that was a great look in there by number 24, Paige Uehara. That was clearly kind of the first scripted play, trying to find Molly Whitmore under the basket. Just put too much of a dart on her, and it deflected off her out of bounds.
Nelson, top of the key. Galbraith, right-hand dribble. Jade Smith. The stop from about 7 feet. Can't get it to go, but there for the putback. Nelson, the miss. Defensive rebound corralled by the Cougars. Looking for our first points here this afternoon. Uehara, nowhere to go. Cross-court pass stolen away by Jade Smith. Keeley. Hands off to Lauren Morris. Triple teamed almost. Outside, Jade Smith for 3. Not even close, but there, cleaning up the glass for the Saints. The first bucket is up and through. Just over a minute gone by. 2-0. Cougars, a long 3. Looks good, and it is. The triple, Alex Loden hits. Cougars lead by 1. Lauren Morris spins in the lane. What a quick move. Jumper will not go. Just rattles out. The home rim not being kind early on. Cougars working the left side of the lane. The layup looks easy. That is Tylee Emanuel. It is 5-2 Cougars. Galbraith a long 3. That caroms off the iron and out of bounds. 3-point lead for Azusa Pacific, and they take over.
Yeah, something to watch. I mean, this has been a tough thing for the Saints all season, but it's kind of the offense. Their defense has been there. They're only allowing 51 points per game, which is a great mark to have. Problem is they're scoring less than 56 a game. And after the second loss we saw here last weekend, Christy Martin said you can't put up 50 points a game and you're not going to win at this level. And so that's a key for them, knocking down shots.
A very nice spin, but the shot missed. Offensive rebound taken in by Whitmore. She can't get it to fall. Back come the Saints. 7:30 and counting in quarter number 1. Morris, top of the key, picks up the dribble. Galbraith, back to Morris. Morris going strong with the left hand. Almost triple teamed again.
Ooh.
And that rim just will not let the ball fall through.
Yeah, she's had a couple good moves inside, just couldn't put a kind roll on it.
Manuel working on Morris. Her shot short. 3 minutes gone by in quarter number 1. Morris hands off to Galbraith. Galbraith around the hard screen. Goes up with the left scoop. She is fouled and will head to the line.
Yeah, Angel Galbraith, she's one of the best players in the GNAC thus far, at least the competition that I've seen, in terms of drawing fouls. She goes in there. She is very authoritative when she goes to the hole. She shot 21 free throws thus far this season, and that's a big reason behind her being the second leading scorer on the team.
Amaya Kirkman in for the Cougars. Galbraith's first free throw is good. Just one field goal so far for the Saints. 6:49 remaining first quarter. It's crazy how the early season basketball schedule works. The Saints were down in California, and now here they are back home playing a team from California.
Yep, it's back and forth all over the place. You get plenty of your miles in.
Look at the speed burst by Uehara. Nice drive in the lane, 7-4 Cougars. Galbraith. The slow dribble. Skip past to Nelson. Back to Galbraith. Off the screen from Nelson. Saints go on the corner. Now baseline under the basket. Reed for 3. Too strong. Offensive rebound taken by Nelson. Nelson, wide open Reed. Finally, the second field goal for St. Martin's. Good find. Eternity Reed open underneath.
Yeah, Emily Nelson, I love what I see out of her in the post a lot. She has solid defense. She's a good force in there, and she attracts a lot of attention when she got the ball. A good job there getting the offensive board, finding an open man under the basket.
Uehara kicks it outside. Heimberger for 3. Off back iron. Karam's out near half court. Heimberger gets her own rebounds. Cougars reset. Look at the speed of Uehara in the lane. Right-hander gets it to fall. 3-point lead for Azusa Pacific. Galbraith hands off to Reed. Ball loose, tapped away. Reed tries to save it, but steps on the sideline. Turnover. Back to the Cougars. They're up 3. Azusa Pacific comes in 3-2 on the young season. St. Martin's 2-2. A foul on St. Martin's. As Uehara hit the deck. She is all right, pops straight up, and she will inbound directly below us. Getting in the lane, taking a lot of steps, but what a shot. Getting it to fall for Azusa Pacific is Kirkman. A 5-point lead for the Cougars.
Yeah, that was a play from the very beginning off the inbound for Amaya Kirkman. I think it was originally for a three-pointer, but as soon as there was a good closeout, she just said, well, okay, there's a free lane to the hole. I'll take it in there. Despite good help defense from Emily Nelson, still goes up and in.
Nice behind-the-back dribble by Galbraith. Ball stolen. Uehara streaking the other way. Nice find. The unselfish play, but a foul called before the pass and the shot.
Yeah, that was Lauren Morris from the get-go. I'm kind of surprised that we're not seeing maybe something like an intentional. The referees are talking here, though. Lauren Morris, there was no chance that she was going for the ball there. It was a smart play if she doesn't get the intentional foul called, but we'll see what it goes down as.
4:27 left in the first quarter. 11-6 Azusa Pacific over St. Martin's. Back after the timeout here on the Saints Digital Network. Back here in Lacey, Washington on the campus of St. Martin's University. Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone with you. Thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday afternoon. As Azusa Pacific will inbound after the timeout. They have a 5-point lead over the Saints, 11-6.
That I was mentioning before we went to that timeout there, was going to be interesting to see if they did consider an intentional foul there on Lauren Morris, but they did not. Ends up just being a common foul. She took away 2 points there, and that's why it's a really smart foul by Lauren Morris.
Again, Azusa Pacific using the paint. Manuel makes it 13-6.
Yeah, Manuel did a good job, too, of holding off on doing that hook with her left arm there. She got really close to it, and maybe a ref would call that, but she didn't do it enough to get it called.
Another turnover for St. Martin's. 6 minutes gone by, quarter number one. Right back to the paint. Manuel can't get the point-blank layup. Got to have those.
Yeah, that was a big momentum moment right there. A wide-open layup to put you up 9. That would have been huge for Azusa to really feel in front.
Saints could use some points. Almost another steal now. Ball is taken away. Cougars back across half court. Thought about the three. Instead, they find the open player. That three missed by Uehara. Offensive rebound to the Cougars. We reset the offense. 3:20 and counting in quarter number one. Uehara in front of her own bench. In front of the Saints bench. Now, that three is missed. Rebound to Galbraith. Ahead to the streaking Lauren Morris. She doesn't have numbers. Wisely finds an open teammate. They reset the offense. 3 minutes left in quarter number one. Galbraith around the screen. Reed in the lane, nowhere to go. Outside to Morris. Morris strong in the lane, no whistle. Ball out of bounds. It'll be Saints ball. Just 7 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Saints haven't scored in 3 minutes right now, so for them, it's a lot about just getting those layups, getting those open looks. We've seen really good defense from Azusa Pacific thus far, and other than kind of broken plays that have ended up as good looks for the Saints, they really haven't got a ton of plays drawn up that have led to good looks.
Little substitution confusion here for St. Martin's, but we do know that Keely Jade Smith has entered the game. Just 7 on the shot clock. They get the ball in. Galbraith, 4 to shoot. Top of the key, 2 to shoot. Spins in the lane. Throws up a left-hand scoop. It will not go, but it did hit iron. Offensive rebound, corralled by St. Martin's.
That was Emily Nelson in the paint there that caused that offensive rebound, too. She tipped it to Galbraith.
Already 7 to shoot. Again, ball out of bounds. Saints basketball. 2:27 left in quarter number one.
The inbounds onto the basket, those are great chances to have those scripted plays that can get you an open look. They didn't take advantage of it the first time this possession they had an inbound of the basket. Hopefully they can do something here.
Jones and Whitmore back in for the Cougars. 5 to shoot for St. Martin's. The spin, too strong. Shot there by Louie into the game. Cougars already up 7. Looking for more. The paint is open again Shot missed, though, this time. Offensive rebound. Heimberger has it. Ball poked away. Good defense there. Streaking the other way for Western Washington. Brown in the lane. No foul. Shot missed. Inside 2 minutes left in a fast-moving first quarter here at Marcus Pavilion.
Saints' last field goal was at the 6:04 mark. We are now at 1:40. It has been a while since they put one in the hole.
Going right back to the paint. The harm, the foul shot will not go. But Whitmore will head to the line. Foul on the Saints, Lauren Morris. Curious and Rios into the game for St. Martin's for the final 1:39 of quarter number one. 6 points so far for the Saints Scots. Not what Coach Martin has drawn up.
No, and I mean the big thing, the numbers, the key numbers that I look at are the numbers that have plagued the Saints thus far this season, and the biggest one being turnovers. They have had a -6 turnover differential this year. They average 20 a game, which is a number that is way too high. Part of that is having a young team, a team of newcomers. They're still trying to mesh together. Right now it's at 4, which is kind of on pace for their average of around 20. So I think that's the big thing. They have players that can make shots. You just got to get shots up, and they're going to try and force some more. That's 5th turnover right there. Galbraith just threw it away, trying to throw it off a player.
Cougars changing it up, going with a full court press, and it worked. Already up 8. Only allowed 6 points to St. Martin so far. 1:35 left in quarter number one. Whitmore, top of the key. They swing it around. Go where? Right back toward the paint. That ball's out of bounds. They say last touched by St. Martin's. .16 on the shot clock. Cougars inbounds. Heimberger throws it away. Little miscommunication, too strong on the pass in the paint. Saints take over. Cougars very active on defense.
Yeah, and this full court press they're doing right now, the goal is to just trap the players in the corners, and you saw it work perfectly with Angel Galbraith that first time. If you're a Saint player trying to break this press, your goal is to get rid of the ball before they can trap you, really. But we're seeing it kind of move so slowly, they force a jump ball.
Jump ball. Saints possession arrow, so they will take over as they trail 14-6. 1:16 left in quarter number one. Coming to you from Lacey, Washington. Again, full court trap. Nearly worked, and now it does because a jump ball called. Possession arrow. Now back to Azusa Pacific.
That inbounds pass there, they've done it 3 times, and it has not worked all 3 times. It's never going to work with throwing that inbounds pass there because the person guarding the inbounder is able to get there way too quick.
The catch, the shoot, bucket good. Molly Whitmore. Cougars by 10. 1 minute left in quarter number one. Galbraith going to the right hand on the left side of the bucket. She is fouled and will head to the line.
Yeah, I think if Galbraith shoots out with her left hand, she has a lot better angle to make that shot there. That's a really tough one with your right hand. But if you shoot it with your right hand and the other player swings, you have a lot higher chance of getting fouled, which she did.
Angel Galbraith, the 5'5" junior out of Vallejo, California. Second free throw is good. 8-point lead for the Cougars. Reed back in for St. Martin's. Curious to the bench. Foul will be called on St. Martin's as Lauren Jones hit the deck. Loudon inbounds. Adjusting the shot clock to 21 seconds. Loudon gets it right back. Kirkman outside. Loudon called for traveling. Saints take over, down 8.
Yeah, just picked up her foot a little bit too quick before she dropped a dribble there. It's a close call, but what it does do is it gives Azusa Pacific time to set up their press here. Let's see if it works successful as it did the previous 3 times.
Galbraith to inbound. She gets it to Reed. Full court press again by the Cougars. This time the Saints break it. Galbraith sets the offense. 20 seconds to shoot. About a 5.5 second differential game and shot clock. Nine to shoot for St. Martin's. Reed to Galbraith. Galbraith left-hand dribble. Off glass and in. 16-10 the count. 5 seconds left in the quarter. Jones into the lane. The left-hand floater is short, and that is how the first 10 minutes ends here in Lacey, Washington. Azusa Pacific 16, St. Martin's 10. Second quarter after this on the Saints Digital Network. Second quarter set to begin here at St. Martin's University. Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone, thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday afternoon. Kind of an odd day and time for college basketball, but hey, I'm assuming Thanksgiving has something to do with that. The week's a little wonky for everybody.
Yeah, some of the students had classes today. Nobody has it tomorrow. Staff as well get tomorrow. Obviously, Thursday, Friday off as well. So, why not celebrate the holiday a little early with some basketball?
Galbraith can't get the shot to go. Rebound to the Cougars, and they are off and running. Already up 6. Going right back to their bread and butter in the paint. Using the size, Molly Whitmore, 18-10.
Yeah, that's not a matchup that the Saints are going to love that much, having Kiana Rios on Whitmore there. When they see that in the middle of the key, they're going to throw it down to her and let her work her magic down low.
Saints got to find some offense. There's a little bit of luck right there. The overplay on defense, wide open. Rios, 18-12 Cougars.
Uehara just bit a little bit too hard, and if you don't come up with that, you allow a wide open layup.
Right, back to the paint. This time shot won't go by Manuel. Galbraith across half court for St. Martin's. Galbraith, the floor general, directing traffic off the screen. Rios in front of the Cougar bench. Can down low the double team, finding the open teammate. That's Madeline Brown, 18-14 Cougars.
Yeah, Brown gets the bucket, but that was all Emily Nelson yet again. She had great help defense on the other side. It was really good for her to not commit a foul when she was helping out. Turn around, she gets the double down low, finds the open man.
That was a pretty shot from Kelly Heimberger. 21-14 after the three-point bucket.
Heimberger has such a smooth stroke. She's really fun to watch shoot that long ball.
2 minutes down in quarter number 2. Reed, top of the key. Galbraith almost has it stolen away. She reconvenes, puts in a 5-foot floater. Saints hanging in there.
Yeah, that's the second time Uehara has tried to come up with a steal, and it's turned around and backfired. So maybe head coach TJ Hardman might tell her to pump the brakes a little bit.
No foul called there. Heard a slap. Maybe that was the basketball. Nice job by Rios. Ball out of bounds.
Yeah, in general right now, I'm kind of loving the ref, and they're letting them play a good amount. I haven't seen, that was one where maybe it hit the ball, maybe it hit something else. Maybe it could have gone either way, but other than that, I don't have much to complain about. I like it when the refs let them play a little bit, and there's some bumping on the low block, but nothing too crazy.
If that smack was the basketball, that thing got abused.
Yeah, there might be like a bruise or something on it.
Cougars have done that multiple times off the inbound, just catch and shoot. Molly Whitmore, another bucket. Galbraith, left-hand dribble. Hands off to Nelson. Nelson right back to Galbraith. 13 to shoot. Top of the key. Louis to Galbraith. 5 to shoot. She will. No rotation, but it doesn't matter when it goes through the hoop.
It was
Long
just a two-pointer there. Yeah, that's one, foot on the line. Worst shot in basketball, coaches will tell you, but still a great pull-up shot from Angel Galbraith, just worth one less point than she wanted it to.
What a fine down low. Molly Whitmore open, but the block by none other than Louis. It'll be Cougar basketball. Uehara inbounds. No catch and shoot this time, but they do go to the block, and a travel is called. Saints ball.
Yeah, that was Emily Nelson playing great defense on Whitmore. The Saints have figured out that they're keying in on Whitmore on those inbounds, just trying to throw it up to her and let her do something in the key. So Emily Nelson on it like glue, forces the pass, and then just a little slip of the foot there causes the travel.
Saints down 5 with the basketball. Morris to Galbraith. Right back to Morris. Morris picks up her dribble in the paint. Galbraith is fouled. She will head right back to the free throw line. Kirkman hit with the foul.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I said it earlier when she went to the line. Angel Galbraith is really good at going in there hard and aggressive. And then as soon as she gets some contact, able to sell it and get that foul call. Only thing that she needs to do better, just knock down more free throws, and her points per game are going to fly up.
First free throw missed. Second one is good. 4-point lead for the Cougars. 6:15 left in quarter number 2. Uehara for 3, too strong. Rebound to St. Martin's, Emily Nelson. But a tie-up is called. Possession arrow stays with the Cougars.
Yeah, Emily Nelson got a great rebound there in the midst of a lot of bodies. Problem was she just turned right into Whitmore, who was ready to kind of clamp on it, and got the jump ball call.
Uehara inbounds. Kirkman around the screen, picks up her dribble. Looking down low again. Who else? Whitmore. 25-19 Cougars.
I started watching her a little bit late there, but she was camping in the key for a long time. Timed it up perfectly where she didn't get 3 in the key called on her.
A 3 on the way, missed by Rios. Back the other way come the Cougars. Uehara looking for Whitmore. Can't handle the pass. Saints ball as it goes out of bounds. Sarah Lemon into the game for St. Martin's. Got some height to try and battle the bigs down low.
Yeah, exactly. It's some good posts with the kind of two-headed monster of Manuel and Whitmore down there. Whitmore, of course, has played really good ball thus far. She has a total of 9 points, just behind Angel Galbraith, the leading scorer, who has 11 right now for the Saints.
Saints down 6. Lauren Morris, the strong drive with the right hand. She is fouled, and she'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, just got a piece of her there. But, again, that comes down to right now the Saints, despite their deficit, they're just attacking the basket a little bit harder, and that's the reason that they've got a handful of those calls to go their way.
Reed returns for St. Martin's. 6-point lead for the Cougars. 5:20 left in quarter number 2. Morris nails the free throw. Morris, the 5'9" redshirt sophomore out of Irvine, California. Second free throw, perfect. 4-point lead for Azusa Pacific. Right back to the block, the spin, the shot will not fall. For Manuel, back comes St. Martin's. Galbraith across half court, halfway through quarter number 2. Galbraith getting the play from head coach Christy Martin. Saints hoping to run it to perfection. Galbraith looking down low, finds Morris, the nice step through in the lane. 2-point ball game.
Morris, such a versatile player. If you put a post on her, she can go a little bit faster than him. If you put a guard on her, she can do that. Pull a post, move out, and make a layup.
Whitmore in the lane, and a charge is called. Saints take over with a chance to tie or take the lead.
That was Kiana Rios making a veteran play from a freshman right there, standing in the lane. She sees Whitmore come down, try and float it in. And when you're coming in hot like that, then just take the hit, fall on the ground hard, and the call goes their way. A good run right now by the Saints.
4:31 left, second quarter. Cougars 25, Saints 23. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. .431 left in quarter number 2. Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. Azusa Pacific, a 2-point lead over St. Martin's. After the timeout, Saints inbounds. Galbraith across half court.
Azusa Pacific came out with the press there again, and clearly the Saints had a different scheme for it than they tried the first time. And it was a little sketchy, but it worked better than their first plan against the press.
Saints can tie or take the lead. Lauren Morris spins in the lane. The fadeaway rattles home. 25 all.
In the first quarter, we saw her do that exact same thing twice, and it just didn't go in for her. There, with the momentum behind you, you put a little bit better touch on it, you get the roll, and it goes in.
Do the Cougars have an answer? They've had leads of 6, 8 points throughout the first half, but we are tied and still tied as Lauren Morris cannot handle the rebound after the miss by Kirkman.
Yeah, what you're seeing right now, and it was something that we talked about a little bit in the break, 14 points in the paints from the Cougars thus far, and so not on this inbounds. They're going man-to-man on this inbounds, but in general, the Saints are trying to set up in the 2-3 zone to prevent those points in the paint.
Strong in the lane is none other than Molly Whitmore. She's fouled heading to the free throw line, a chance at a three-point play.
It was a great job by Whitmore. Get that inbound, and then she got position on the bigger Sarah Lamette. And then as soon as you get position, unless you're facing a huge height differential with where Whitmore's 6'2", Lamette's 6'4", and that's not enough. As soon as you get that position there under the basket, that's pretty fundamental as opposed to be able to knock that in even with some contact.
Molly Whitmore, the 6'2 junior from Adelaide, Australia. A long way from home.
Yeah, there's some good ball players down in Australia, though.
This press is definitely something the Saints have to figure out.
Cannot throw it to the corner. They keep throwing it to the corner.
Every time, it seems like, and it hasn't been in their favor too often.
No, I mean, that was the first time it wasn't a turnover, I don't think.
Saints do get it in, this time not in the corner. Can they get across half court, though? Going backwards is not ideal.
2 seconds to do it. Timeout by Christy Martin right before that.
3:30 remaining. A three-point ball game in Lacey. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back after the timeout, 3-point lead for the Cougars. Sean Wiley, Scott Gladstone with you inside Marcus Pavilion on the campus of St. Martin's University. Saints down 3. Lauren Morris, the hot hand for St. Martin's. No foul, a very late charge called. I was just about to say no foul called there. Either way, the block or the charge. Official must have heard me and said, oh, yeah, I forgot something.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was just kind of computing the fact that they called that charge earlier on Whitmore. You have to call it both sides, obviously, and I think just computing kind of the precedent that was already set in terms of what they were calling. And, I mean, at that point, the way she went down, you either have to call a flop or a charge, and I think he computed all that. So we've already called a charge today. Should keep it fair.
Wide open for a three in the corner. Hitting the iron is Kirkman. Saints don't have a press to break this time, thankfully. 28-25 Cougars. Reed, top of the key, back to the floor, General Galbraith. Galbraith picks up the dribble, 7 to shoot. She gets it back in front of the Cougar bench. Spins into the lane, somehow gets the shot off. What body control, it's 28-27. Back the other way, Cougars wasting no time. Whitmore, off iron, offensive rebounds to Heimberger. Kirkman in the lane, finds the open player who lays it up and in. That is Molly Whitmore, back to a 3-point lead. Press applied by the Cougars. Galbraith across half court quickly. Galbraith gets it back. 1:45 left, second quarter. Saints looking down low, and they throw it away. A foul is called. I think that'll be on the Cougars for the hold. Kelly Heimberger hit with the foul.
Yeah, that was one where, I mean, I don't think Emily Nelson was really selling it as much as she could have there. She didn't really go for it, but maybe that was part of selling it, is just saying, well, I'm being subdued so much I can't get to it. I am kind of surprised they called it because it was kind of a covert grab if there was something there, but the referee under the basket had a good angle on it.
Not the best entry pass. Heimberger knocked it away. Cougars have it. Minute 30 left in the first half. Heimberger off the iron. Battle for the basketball. Saints come away with it. Thinking about the three. Dialing long distance. No, off the front iron. The miss by Rios. Cougars wasting no time, but a travel is called.
Yeah, the Saints kind of got bailed out there. It was 4-on-2 on that fast break, and Heimberger just got a little too antsy, and I believe that was Madeline Brown that got back, put herself in the right position to guard the 4-on-2 as best she could, and just kind of lucky with Heimberger getting it, but now they're going to need to break the press again.
Galbraith got a very quick breather. Her and Rios back in the game for the Saints. Again, the trap by the Cougars as we approach 1 minute left in the half. Saints get across half court. They trail by 3. Galbraith, 9 on the shot clock. She drives the lane. Ball taken away. They're calling a jump ball. Ball stays with St. Martin's. Galbraith to inbound, just 7 to shoot for the Saints. Very active on both ends of the floor, this Cougar team. Knocking the ball out of bounds. Saints will try it again. Reed has it, 5 to shoot, looking down low. Nice entry pass to Louie. 1 point ball game.
Yeah, that was a perfect high-low there. Get it into Reed and look down on the low block to kind of beat the 2-3 inbound zone that Azusa Pacific was putting on. Worked perfectly. You know Louie's not going to miss that.
Cougars the 1 point lead. Loudon, left-hand dribble, picks it up. Finds Whitmore, the jumper, off left side of the rim. Offensive rebound tracked down by Kirkman. They reset. 7 seconds left. Right-hand side of the lane, scoop off the window. We have an offensive foul as Molly Whitmore just shoved. Who is that down there, Scott?
Louie down there. Yeah, she took a hit. I know what Louie did there. I mean, the thing is she was in perfect position. That's the reason why the foul was called. She got a good box out on Molly Whitmore, and all Whitmore could do is kind of run through it to get to it. But the problem is when you're boxing out, you're putting both your hands behind your body. So when you get a hard shove like that from behind, there's no way to protect yourself unless you really put your hands together quick. And she fell to the floor with kind of a velocity where she couldn't stop it much. But that's all her in terms of getting the positioning, getting the proper box out to draw that foul. And she's up and walking now away with our trainer, Isaac Tompkins, over there.
Let's hope she was able to brace herself and didn't take a nosedive.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I didn't see any blood. There's no blood on the floor, so that's a good sign. And now we just got 1 second left. As it's kind of, it's a great play, but you can't apply it too much because the player gets hurt from it, and so the kind of an awkward silence here as I think they're actually going to look at that replay to make sure that there wasn't anything more a flagrant one or anything like that, that despite you don't need intention for that flagrant one, you just need an action that could result in injury that goes above and beyond. If there's a two-hand extension kind of where she shoves her to the ground, there could be a chance that St. Martin's could get some free throws out of this.
One-point ball game, 30-29. Azusa Pacific in the lead. They've controlled pretty much the entire first half. Saints have done well to get back in it and keep it a ball game and even tie it up. Haven't been able to take the lead, but they possibly could do that in the final second.
Yeah, they just called the other referee over to take a look at it, so it doesn't mean that it was clear and obvious, and that's soccer terminology in terms of video system review, but it's kind of the same thing where it needs to be obvious, and there's enough where they're saying it wasn't obviously not. Let's take another look at this. Looking back at kind of this first half, I mentioned there's one key number, the top number that I want to look at is the turnover differential. Right now, the Saints have 8 turnovers. Azusa Pacific has 10, so they're winning the turnover battle there. The other thing, not so much going the Saints' way, and that's the three-pointers. The Saints have struggled with three-pointers throughout this season. They've only hit 16 out of their 66 attempts, and they're 0 for 5 from three-point land right now, which that's something – you got to get those big shots to fall, and they've had a couple open looks from three-point land and haven't been able to cash in. But that turnover battle, being able to have an advantage in that regard is really important. And now we're seeing coaches get called over, so we'll see if this goes down as something more than a common foul.
You would think something would have to be called, or why would they have this conference right now?
Yeah.
If they were calling nothing, okay, play on.
Yeah, if they were calling nothing, too, and Christy Martin was fighting for it a little bit more, then I could see them talking to Christy Martin and just saying, here's why we're not calling a foul. But talking to both is interesting. We'll see. Well, it's kind of. I'm trying to read body language from up here. We're not next to the table like most basketball broadcasters are. We're not at the table, so we can't hear more of this conversation or at least see closer up the body language. It looks to me like TJ Hardiman might be questioning a little bit more, and we're going to get Joe, our PA announcer, down there. They are explaining a lot more, so I'm guessing it's going to go down as more than just a common foul.
After we review the last call, Molly Whitmore called for an intentional foul. So therefore, we'll be 2 shots for the Saints to lane.
Intentional foul on Molly Whitmore. Saints can definitely now go to the locker room with the lead as they will get 2 shots and the ball. Lauren Morris to the free throw line all by herself. No pressure.
Got it.
Tied at 30. They did put 0.3 seconds back on the clock, so there is 1.3 left in the first half. Saints in the lead, 31-30. It's a very good sign for St. Martin, Scott. They trailed the majority of the first half, including being down as many as 8. Did it get to 10?
It got, I'm trying to look, largest lead. Yeah, 10 points. It was 16-6 right near the end of the first quarter.
Galbraith to inbound. She needs to get the basketball in. She finally does. Morris, the heave, hits the front of the iron. Just so close. Gotta love how the Saints finished the half, Scott.
Yeah, and it starts with the fundamental things they do on defense, the reason why their defense is so good. The box outs, I mentioned Emily Nelson throughout the first half playing really clean, just in general, her hedging on screens, her box outs, the boards that she got on both sides of the ball. And then, Shanoa Louis continues that precedent, has a good box out there and gets the intentional foul for Molly Whitmore there, which, hopefully she's okay. But her hard work under the basket there was completely well served, drawing that intentional foul and getting the Saints in the locker room with a lead.
Halftime here in Lacey, Washington. After 20 minutes of play, St. Martin's 31, Azusa Pacific 30. We'll come back just before the third quarter starts, give you some stats, some numbers, talk about the first half, and get you rolling into quarter number 3 on the Saints Digital Network. Back here inside Marcus Pavilion, Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone as we get set for quarter number 3. Tight ball game, 31-30. St. Martin snuck away with the lead running into halftime. But, man, what a battle in the paint. Each team, 18 each. Great play down low, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at that first quarter, it was really dominated by Azusa Pacific. But the thing that St. Martin's, in the games they've been successful, they've been so good at doing, is when the shots haven't been falling for them, they're able to limit the other team. In their most recent game, the loss that they had down in California to Chico State, it was a big second quarter that got away from them where the shots weren't falling offensively, and then they allowed that to bleed into their stellar defense and take advantage of it. Thing is they didn't do that in the first quarter, and then the second quarter they got back to fundamentals. They played really well, and they got a chance up one here in the start of the third.
Look at the second quarter field goal shooting. St. Martin's 66.7, Azusa Pacific 35.3, and that basically tells the story of how the Saints got back in the game. Azusa Pacific went 6 for 17, which allowed the Saints to crawl back in it and take the lead. Cougars looking to regain the lead, double team down low. They kick it outside. The jumper is good by Molly Whitmore. Whitmore now with 16 to lead all scorers.
Yeah, Whitmore, the Australian. I mean, she just anywhere around the key, she just can be automatic.
Morris cannot connect. Cougars heading the other way. A quick foul down low on Reed of St. Martin's. Free throws. St. Martin's 9 of 10, 90%. That's an incredible number. Down low, the miss by Manuel. Back comes St. Martin's looking to retake the lead.
Yeah, and the thing is, only 3 free throws shot by Azusa Pacific. St. Martin's, that's just a part where when things started to not go their way, they got more aggressive attack in the basket and were able to draw those fouls.
Morris driving baseline. Finds Reed open. Can't get it to fall, but the nice hustle play by Rios. Saints reset the offense. Galbraith. Left to right dribble. 6 to shoot. Galbraith in the lane. The up and under, can't get it to fall. Rebound into the hands of Heimberger. Wide open. Manuel will not shoot it. Nice dish in the lane, finding Whitmore. She is fouled and will go to the line.
Yeah, that was a really great pass. Whitmore is going to make that almost every time, and really it was a great foul from Kiana Rios. She has one of the best players for Azusa Pacific with a wide open layup. Might as well go hard in the back there, force her to shoot too.
Whitmore now with 17 points. Two-point lead for the Cougars. Second free throw by Whitmore is good. It's getting to the point for St. Martin's where you can't stop Whitmore. You just hope to contain her. Already has 18, more than half of the Cougars scoring.
Yeah, and head coach TJ Hardman taking her out to give her a quick breather as that press almost worked again.
Galbraith just does get across half court. Needed some teammates to help her out there, but she managed. Saints, Morris with it now, left-hand dribble. 4 to shoot. Morris for 3. Too strong. Ball loose. Cougars come away with it.
Yeah, nobody was counting Emily Nelson in the key there. None of the refs were, and I think Emily Nelson was in the key for probably about 6-7 seconds straight. Really lucky to get away with it.
Manuel spins baseline. Shot short. Galbraith the rebounds. And a foul is called on St. Martin's.
Yeah, I think they got Eternity Reed under the bucket there. I complimented the way we were seeing the game called in the first half, and that's one of those calls that the way they were reffing it in the first half, I don't think would have got called because it was just a box out that she started to get off of as it was an air ball, but boxing out when an air ball happens, it's always awkward and it always looks weird. But you got to give her some grace there.
Nice find on the baseline. Wide open is Kelly Heimberger, 36-31. Quickly, the Cougars up 5. Galbraith directing traffic. Morris gets it back. Strong dribble drive, right hand, kicks it outside to Brown. Down low, fighting through 3 different Cougar players. Emily Nelson will head to the line. You got 3 defenders on you. Somebody's open.
Yeah, that's true there. But Emily Nelson, she's strong enough where she can control it a little bit down there. There was a couple times she shot an elbow back that, I was more worried about her getting called for an offensive foul really than losing the ball because she had a firm grip on it.
Nelson misses both. Ball loose, picked up by the Cougars. Uehara.
Saints into a 2-3 here.
Uehara finally finds her teammate. Open in the corner for 3. The bucket is good. An 8-point lead now for the Cougars. Amaya Kirkman hit the triple. Christy Martin wants to talk things over. Saints down 8. 6:23 left, third quarter. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion. Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone, 39-31. Cougars up 8. Scott, the Saints haven't scored yet in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's what they need to figure out. I think Christie was drawing up something. That press, if you break it correctly, you end up with a layup every time, and you do that a couple times, and they'll get out of the press. Problem is the Saints have no points from that press thus far.
Nelson double teamed in the lane, sliding the feet, turning it back over to the Cougars.
Yeah, that was either going to be a travel or a 3 in the key because she stepped out of it briefly but then got thrown right back into the key and was just clogged up and stoppage for some reason there.
Cougars inbound, 6:05 left, third quarter. They lead by 8. Good ball movement by the Cougars, looking for the open player. They find none other than Loudon, but she cannot convert. Saints looking for their first points of the third quarter. Galbraith can't give it to him. She hit the underside of the rim. Cougars streaking the other way. Again, good ball movement. The open player for three, the miss. Uehara missing the three. Foul called on Azusa Pacific's. Just mentioned Paige Uehara, her first.
Yeah, and I mentioned that turnover battle. That's the thing that I was really impressed with, that the Saints were able to control in the first half with a +2. And already in this 9-0 run to start this quarter, it's switched.
Galbraith trying to end it again. This time the layup too strong. No points for St. Martin's. Nearly 5 minutes gone by. A three on the way by the Cougars. That is off the back iron. Kirkman the miss. Brown to Galbraith. Rios, the nice pass to Nelson. In the lane, knocks down the defender, no whistle. Second shot won't go. Offensive rebound. Saints reset.
I didn't see a ref signal for a flop violation there, but that's one where I haven't seen one, period, when in a women's game we've been calling, but we've seen it. That called a flop in a men's game plenty.
Missing the three is Rios. Rebound to the Cougars. 4:25 left, third quarter. Azusa Pacific up 8. 9-0 run here in the third quarter for the Cougars. Uehara for three. Off back iron, offensive rebound to Galbraith. Ahead to Morris. Morris was hot in the first half. They need to get back to that. And that's a good start. First bucket of the third quarter for St. Martin's.
Yeah, it just took them 6 minutes to do it. But again, it's their defense that's continued to be solid, that has kept them fairly close, but still a 6-point deficit.
Uehara in the lane, kicks it outside. Three on the way, off back rim. Offensive rebound taken by Emily Nelson. And she is fouled.
Yeah, that was a good job by Nelson to get out of that, because it happened in the first half where she pulled down a rebound and spun right into, I believe it was the same player, Kelly Heimberger. But that time, as soon as she realized she spun into her, she then got out of it, and Heimberger committed the foul.
3:41 left, third quarter. Cougars 39, Saints 33. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back here in Lacey, Washington, Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone. Thank you for checking us out on this Tuesday afternoon as Azusa Pacific invades Lacey, Washington. They lead the Saints 39-33, just 3 points in the quarter for St. Martin's. I'm sorry, 2 points in the quarter. They had 31 at half. Trying to break the press and getting across half court very quickly is St. Martin's.
That's a guy how you break the press. Just throw it down the court.
Double teamed. They kick it outside to Galbraith. Rios, who finds an open teammate outside. It's Galbraith. 5 to shoot. Driving the left side of the lane. She is fouled, and she will head to the line.
I mean, having a player that Christy Martin has with the addition of Angel Galbraith this year has been really big, because she's somebody that when that shot clock is ticking down and it gets to be single digits, Angel Galbraith will just say, okay, well, I'll just take it to the bucket and make sure we don't get a shot clock violation. She's done that really well in the early part of the season.
Free throws were nearly automatic in the first half for the Saints. Not so much here in the second. Galbraith hits the second. Just the third point for St. Martin's here in the third quarter.
Yeah, we've seen third quarters all year be a struggling point for the Saints, as well as second quarters. They've overcome their second quarter struggles with that great second that we saw. However, they've been outscored in the third as well this season.
Open on the block. You don't see that much. Molly Whitmore, the miss from point blank. Saints only down 5.
Yeah, that was a case of being too open. It was just her in the basket and just couldn't come up with it.
Jade Smith throws it away. Ball stolen, going the other way. Uehara can't get it to go. Not even close, off glass. Ball loose. Cougars come away with it. Sayok into the ball game for Azusa Pacific. The Cougars reset in front of their own bench now. 8 to shoot. 3 on the way. A pretty shot knocked down by Alex Loudon. 42-34 Cougars. Going up strong, hitting the deck. Blocking foul called as Keely Jade Smith will head to the line. Whitmore picks up her third, Scott.
Yeah, that's a little bit. I was just looking at that foul trouble. How is that all shaken out? Heimberger also has 3, and Kirkman has 3. And for the Saints on the other side, it's Morris and Reed, both with 3 apiece.
Second free throw made. 7-point lead for Azusa Pacific. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Sayok, the speed in the lane around Reed, but Reed recovers with the swat.
Yeah, I've said it all season. Reed has such good length, and you see it there. Even though the foot speed, with her being more of a post or at least a forward guarding the guard, I mean, she makes up enough of that, the loss that she got there, and then the big swat with the long arms that she has.
Whitmore, the catch, the jumper, short. Rebounds to St. Martin's. Emily Nelson ahead to Galbraith. 1:45 left, third quarter. Down 7, Saints have the ball. Galbraith off the screen to Morris. And down low for Nelson. They swing it, find the open player. A very high arcing rainbow 3 won't go, but the rebound to Nelson. Nelson trying to stay on her feet. Gets the pass off Galbraith. The shot won't go. Kirkman the rebound, and she is fouled.
I think they just called that out of bounds off of Galbraith. But I thought it was going to be a foul too there. And the bench of the Saints was fighting for it to be off of the Cougars. But in the end, it's kind of a cut the difference for both sides.
I saw the carnage on the court. Saints nearly the steal, but instead Uehara going the other way. The skip pass to Whitmore, layup will not go, but she is fouled and will head to the line.
Yeah, well, that was the Saints giving the Cougars a little bit of their own medicine right there. They ran the exact same press that Azusa Pacific has been going on and off, and they did it to perfection. They got a ball that was just rolled on the court, but it was rolled to where nobody was, in the end, the Cougars made up the difference, got a 2-on-1 fast break, and 2 of their best players, Uehara and Whitmore, run the 2-on-1 exactly like you're supposed to, get a foul, 2 shots for Whitmore.
Whitmore, leading scorer on the afternoon, does not add to it. Cougars still up 7. Fun fact of the afternoon, Azusa Pacific, a private university founded in 1899. First classes, March 3rd, 1900, Scott.
1900, on the dot, a turn of the century school.
43-35. Cougars in the lead. Saints double teamed. 1 minute left, third quarter. St. Martin's needs points. They haven't had many in the third. Galbraith looking for Morris. Morris saves it somehow. Galbraith thinking about a three, but she's got the long Whitmore on her instead. Going down low, Nelson cannot save it. That's a turnover.
Yeah, that's one where she has position, and you got to recognize kind of where her footing is as a guard and make sure not to throw it when she is not in a position to kind of jump out for it and grab it.
Uehara using her speed behind the back dribble. Jumper just outside the right elbow. 10-point advantage again for the Cougars. Saints do a good job of breaking the press. Shot clock is off. Nelson the rebound, the putback goes in, but it will not count. Traveling called.
There was a lot of contact there, and it was kind of one or the other. There was going to be a whistle, and she just took one more step before she took the hit.
15 seconds left in the third quarter. 10-point lead for the Cougars. 5 left in the third quarter. Uehara, baseline. The up, the under, shot won't go, and that is how quarter number 3 ends. A quarter won by the Cougars. They were down 1 at half. They are up 10 after 3. 10 minutes of action coming up next. The final quarter from Lacey, Washington, here in Marcus Pavilion on the campus of St. Martin's University. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back here at St. Martin's University, Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone, the final 10 minutes of women's basketball on this Tuesday matinee edition of Saints basketball. Thanks for joining us. From Lacey, Washington, from Azusa, California, and all points in between. Morris outside, they swing it around now. Going down low, the shot won't go. Rebound to the Saints. They reset with Galbraith. Saints down 10. Galbraith, the jumper off the rim. Rebound to Nelson. Outside it's Rios now. Rios to Galbraith. 7 to shoot. Galbraith backing down into the lane. Morris driving, shot rejected. Cougars on the run. Uehara slows it down to wait for her teammates and whistle. Why? Oh, we have a player for the Cougars on the other end of the floor, and that is their stud of the afternoon, Whitmore.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened. I mean, I know there was 2 different offensive rebounds by the Saints that possession.
Shot to the nose, looks like.
Yeah, so I think there was just a lot of things happening below the basket, and she's holding her nose right now. And I've been there. I've been under a basket when you take an elbow to the face, and it does not feel good. Sometimes you get a good shiner from it. Yeah. So.
All right, we've got a timeout on the floor for the injury. We'll step aside and come back when play resumes on the Sand State Journal Network. All right, after a long discussion and review of the play, they have decided all parts of doing business of basketball, no extracurricular on the foul. 10-point lead for the Cougars. They have the basketball, looking for more. 10 to shoot in the lane. Good defense by Nelson. Saints going the other way.
I think that was a block by Nelson, too.
Speaking of a block, there was one on the other end. Galbraith got it rejected by Loudon, but then they say it trickled off Galbraith. Cougar ball.
Yeah, the perfect 2-for-1. You block it off the body of the person that you blocked it. It's double bad for them and double nice for you.
8:35 left in this game. Azusa Pacific in commands. Open for three was Heimberger. She passed it up. Uehara with 6 to shoot. Picks up the dribble. Spins around. Throws one up. No. Rebound Manuel. That won't go. Put back good by Alex Loudon.
That was beautiful spin off the backboard. That's what you need to do when you're at kind of a really bad angle like she was. Spin it off the backboard. Worked perfectly.
Saints down 12. They need to cut into the deficit. Morris cannot do that. Rebounds Emmanuel. Back come the Cougars. Uehara guarded by Galbraith. Off the screen. Manuel pushed in the back. No call. Spins. Hits the deck. And she is fouled. We'll head to the line.
Yeah, I've complimented Emily Nelson throughout the night because she is really good at just using her size and her strength to have the good position. Hands up, shoot it over me, see if you can. That time she just lost. I mean, she just got a little over antsy, which you do because she knew she really needed a stop. And she just kind of put the hips a little bit too far. And, yeah, I mean, just knocks her to the ground, and it's hard to not get called for that when you're into the body as much as she was.
After the missed free throw, Saints on the run. 7-18 and counting. What a spin in the lane. Morris, shot off the window. Count it.
Oh, my goodness. That was a spinorama circus shot there from Lauren Morris, and she definitely got fouled, and then she's kind of just hucking it up because he, might as well throw it up there, see what happens, and put it off that nice square window on the backboard, and it popped right in.
Morris converts the three-point play. Saints down 9. Cougars break the modified press. .13 to shoot, and a 3 is short. The miss by Heimberger. Back come the Saints. They've got the deficit to single digits. They can keep chipping away. They've hung around all game. Morris attacking the lane. Layup good. Saints within 7. They've got to stop penetration. Uehara finds wide open for 3. Alex Loudon connects on the triple. Saints need to break the press. And they do. Get it outside to Galbraith. Saints again down 10. One dribbling up for Nelson. Layup good in the lane.
Now the shots are finally falling. There's only 6 minutes to go, though. They would have loved to have some of this in the third quarter or the first quarter.
Another 3. This one missed. Top of the key. Saints down 8. Ball nearly stolen. Saints still have it. Nice spin. The left hand off window. What a job by Rios.
Wow, yeah, that was a great move with the left hand, too. Just put it perfectly off the glass there. The momentum starting to shift right now.
Cougars answer, and they're back up 8, 5:24 and counting. Now the steal and the easy bucket by who else? Alex Loudon. Cougars back to trailing, or up 10. Saints trailing 10. Galbraith for 3. High off the back rim, and a foul called on St. Martin's.
Foul on number 1 for the Saints, Jacob Galbraith, third first person, team second. In the line is number 15, Sarah Lynn, replaces Emily Nelson. For Azusa Pacific, number 35 is Molly.
Emily Nelson coming out here after a really good shift. We'll see if she sees the floor again. I expect she will. But here's the number for Emily Nelson. That first bucket was just her, or that last bucket she had was just her first of the game. So only 2 points, 13 rebounds for Emily Nelson. Really doing a lot of work for the Saints in the key.
Cougars up 10, looking to add to it. Nice spin in the lane using the glass. Is Heimberger. A 12-point advantage for the Cougars. Just 4:41 left for the Saints. Might be getting too little too late.
Yeah, the Saints, I mean, it's so frustrating watching this press, and I'm sure Christy Martin is so frustrated because of it. But this is a press where, oh my goodness, that was an option. It was a Hail Mary pass. And if you get a good Hail Mary pass like that, you can score off that press every time. But I think clearly Coach TJ Hardiman saw that the Saints didn't have that long passer. And it's a travel. It would have been a charge anyway if it wasn't travel before that. But the bottom line is the Saints, every time they've passed that inbounds to around half court off of this press break, it's worked. The problem is they just don't have enough confidence to try and get it that deep past the defense.
4:29 remaining in this contest. St. Martin's with the ball, down 12. Press applied by the Cougars. Galbraith has it ahead to Morris. Morris going strong in the lane, has to kick it out. Galbraith with it. Looking for the scoop shot, tapped out of bounds by Azusa Pacific. Lauren Morris to inbounds. Saints need points in a hurry. Outside to their point guard. Galbraith directing traffic. Getting direction from head coach Christy Martin. Time not on the Saints side. Coach Martin telling them to hurry it up. Galbraith, the 3 on the way and down. Long two apparently.
Yeah, and I was paying attention to that a lot because the Saints are 0 for 12 from three-point land, and that's the second time Galbraith has just had her toe on the line. And, you know, it's not a huge difference. They're down by 10, those 2 points. But still, you want a 3 rather than that.
Kelly Heimberger off the window, back to a 12-point lead for the Cougars. Again, passing it to the corner, helping out the trap, helping out the defense. We've seen that multiple times this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm sure Christy Martin's frustrated, and I can feel her frustration all the way from down on the floor and across because she can see what we can all see is that you throw to the corner in that situation. They run that press really good. They have active hands. They'll pin you in there, and we're just seeing when the Saints have gone on a run to break that press and to play good, they've been able to make quick decisions and either dribble or pass, and that's what they need to do quick. And when they throw down in the corner, then they kind of just get frozen and deer in the headlights, and they're looking around, and they turn it over. Best case scenario, they throw it off of an Azusa Pacific player, and then they get caught in the same situation. So the thing with that press, you just need to act quickly, act confidently, either dribble and go, or look up court. And if you can look up court, you can make quick buckets out of this. That's the thing. Azusa Pacific, I don't know if I would be in the press right now because you got a 12-point lead, and if the Saints break it a couple times, they're going to get out of it because being able to break a press quickly is the exact way to score quick, and that's what the Saints need right now, down 12 with 3.5 to go.
Galbraith leading the way for the Saints with 16. Right behind her, Lauren Morris has 15. The other side for Azusa Pacific, Whitmore 19 and Loudon with 13 on 5 of 8 shooting. Talked about Loudon at the beginning of the game. She did great things. Her last game, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, did it all, and here she is doing good things off the bench this afternoon. 3:27 and counting. Azusa Pacific ball up 12. Nice drive in the lane. Shot will not go. The miss by Heimberger. But the offensive rebound and foul by the Saints will send the Cougars back to the line. Emily Nelson committed the foul. Molly Whitmore to the line for 2 shots. Whitmore looking for her 20th point. And she'll get it.
Yeah, I think I love about Whitmore, I mean, apart from just her consistency in the key area, is she's a big that has made her free throws thus far today. 6 for 8 on the day from the free throw line. And, you know, for your post that gets fouled a lot and gets a lot of chances at the charity stripe, it's really good to have.
14-point lead for the Cougars. 4 defenders in the backcourt. Somehow the Saints break it. Galbraith forgot the basketball, and it's picked up by the Cougars. Kirkman just using clock. Could have put the shot up there on the baseline, but now the ball is thrown right to the Saints. Nelson comes away with it. Morris to Galbraith. Morris, one dribble, shot, short. Offensive rebound to St. Martin's. Now ball loose on the floor. No whistle yet. And we have a timeout by Christy Martin and the Saints. They want to talk things over, down 14. We'll see you on the other side of this timeout on the Saints Digital Network. Back here at Marcus Pavilion, St. Martin's University. Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone, and we have a turnover on the inbounds pass. Cougars up 14. Looking like that lead will be safe. But we do have traveling, which will give it back to St. Martin's. Paige Uehara committing the turnover.
At the beginning of the game, I said 2 things: turnovers, 3-pointers. At halftime, they were winning the turnover battle, and I think that's the reason why St. Martin's had the thin lead. Now turnovers are 18-12. St. Martin's has that 18, make it 19 now with that one, and they have 0 3-pointers. So the 2 things that really Christy Martin and her staff, I think, were focused on, and we're realizing this is where we need to improve, this is where we need to get better. They didn't do today, and they lose. And
it was almost a Thanksgiving football tackle on Twin Star Credit Union Court.
Yeah, that was that's what you expect more from, you know, your cousin in the backyard on Thanksgiving than on a basketball court there. I mean, I don't know how that wasn't a foul. Was that a foul? Yeah, I think it was called a foul.
Inside 2 minutes now. Uehara has the mismatch. She's got quickness over Morris, but Morris staying with her. Nice. Bank is open as Erica Pickett gets in off the bench.
Yeah, that's cool for her. She's the only Washington native on this Azusa Pacific squad, likely maybe having some friends or family in the building, and maybe some watching at home as well. So good for her to be able to come in here and get a bucket for herself.
The freshman from Clarkston, Washington, as Nelson uses the glass and around the world. 62-48 Cougars, and Uehara hits the deck hard. Could hear the moan and groan from the crowd on that one.
Yeah, and TJ Hardiman is off his bench pretty quickly, trying to check on the possibility for a review. We'll see if we go into that. I mean, that review that we had that was said to be nothing took long enough. And yep, we're gonna look this one over and see if anything was illegal or flagrant from Lauren Morris there.
We'll let the officials talk it over and possibly go over to – no, they are not going to go look at it.
Yeah, they're not going to be pressured into it. I mean, yeah. Again, we never look back at the flagrant that they called on Molly Whitmore, so we don't know exactly what the difference between that. Definitely Lauren Morris's last review that they looked a while at was not, and that was a play in general that was Lauren Morris trying to make a play, and I think part of it the refs are saying it wasn't intentional. It's a 14-point game. Let's just call it a common foul and keep this game moving.
Now, if you are viewing this broadcast as a St. Martin's fan, come on back. Roughly 5:15 p.m. We'll be back with men's basketball as St. Martin's men's basketball team welcomes in the Evergreen State Gooey Ducks, believe it or not.
Those Gooey Ducks, the Capital City Clash, as pronounced today by head coach Aaron Landon.
Nelson down low. Foul called with 1:02 left. And Emily Nelson will head to the free throw line. Lauren Jones hit with the foul. Reed back into the game for the final minute for St. Martin's. Free throw is short. Final minute here on this Tuesday matinee from Lacey, Washington. Azusa Pacific is going to get the win and have a great, happy travel back to Azusa, California. A little bit of sloppy play there. No foul called. Ball out of bounds to the Cougars. And a foul that time called on Angel Galbraith. That will send Alex Loudon to the line. Azusa Pacific will improve to 4-2. St. Martin's will fall to 2-3.
Yeah, this is something I don't think the score is going to reflect kind of how this game was, especially at halftime. I think people that, saw the halftime score and kind of look a little bit more at the box score will see a different story than what the final score is going to end up saying here. And especially when you look at the fact, for a myriad of reasons, the Saints had two starters and a key bench player, or a couple key bench players out of this game, including their leading scorer, Ryan Clear. And to have the lead at halftime against this Azusa Pacific squad, I think in the end they just kind of ran out of gas and, just got tired. And, enough kind of young players came in the second half and kind of got thrown in the mixer. And Azusa Pacific did a really good job taking advantage of that with the full court press that worked really well. And, that's kind of all she wrote in that third quarter where Azusa got in the chair and rode its victory.
Trying to get a bucket for Pickett didn't work for the Cougars. Final seconds ticking down. Azusa Pacific gets the victory here at St. Martin's University. They won it 65-49 over the Saints, Scott.
Yeah, I kind of went over a lot of it when I was talking there, but you know, we're going to plan on hopefully talking to Coach Christy Martin after the game, so stick around on the broadcast to just hear a quick post-game wrap up kind of with her and get her thoughts on this contest. But, you know, she said to me after their last loss, she said you can't expect to win a game when you don't score 50 points, not at this level. And I mentioned that earlier in this game, and it's the same situation here. The defense did solid. They held Azusa Pacific to 65 points. They shot 39%. They forced Azusa Pacific into 13 turnovers. There's a lot of good things on that stat sheet, but you turn it around. And you look at the offense, and you look at who's going to be that key scorer. Andrew Galbraith at times has come up with those key buckets. But, you know, when somebody like Ryan Clear isn't available, who's the shooter? You know, who can knock down a three? They were over 12 3-point land. And, yeah, just really struggled in that third quarter. They scored 4 points in the third quarter, and you can't really score single-digit points in a quarter and expect to be in a good spot, but definitely not against a team as good as Azusa Pacific.
Saints will play next on Black Friday up in Bellingham, Washington at GNAC rival Western Washington University. They've got a game Friday, a game Saturday in the Linda Goodrich Classic in Bellingham, so your next chance to catch St. Martin's will be at Western Washington University this weekend. Saints fall 65-49 to Azusa Pacific as we get set to speak with head coach Christy Martin after the loss to the Cougars. Azusa Pacific heads back to California after the victory here this afternoon. As we'll bring in Coach Christy Martin here in just 1 second.
Scott Gladstone back here with head coach Christy Martin after the 65-49 loss. Coach, let's start it off with kind of the goods from that first half. Of course, down 2 starters today. You were able to come out, and especially that second quarter, there was a lot of different players that stepped up. Emily Nelson throughout offensively, defensively, was grinding in the middle there. She finished with 13 rebounds. 7 of those were offensive. And right at the end of that first half, you went to the locker room with the lead. What did you like that you saw from the team in the first half that showed that despite, you know, some of the players who weren't available today, they were still able to hang with a team as good as Azusa Pacific?
I think the best thing that we watched was the ability to just adjust. We ran a 2-3 zone for the first time, and I felt like we haven't really worked on it as much as we should have before you play a team that's ranked nationally, and they really adapted and adjusted and did some things, and then he made some adjustments that we weren't getting towards the middle of the third quarter, where they had that cutter going in the corner and kept getting lost in that. But those are all things that, you know, with a little bit of time we can definitely stop.
This weekend you head up to Bellingham, not too far, and you get the chance to play teams that are, you know, or one team at least in Bemidji that's, you know, not from this region at all, maybe plays a little bit different. What are you looking to get out of that experience up in Bellingham?
The thing that we keep telling our team, and we're so young, and we have a lot of talent, is that we have to be the best at getting better. Every single day, that is our mantra. We have to just continue to grind away at this process and really work together and getting to know each other. We haven't had the same starting lineup for 2 games in a row, which is good and bad. I think that our girls are really flexible, and they just are able to just adapt and adjust. I mean, we're out here wearing masks and not one of my kids is complaining about it. And so those kind of things that our mentally tough kids do, and I'm really proud of them. I know we've hit some adversity early, but like I really think that we're going to be better for it down the stretch.
Awesome, Coach. Well, thanks for your time, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Scott.
You're looking at men's basketball as they warm up. We got men's action coming up in just about 30 minutes, so come on back if you want to continue seeing some good basketball here on this Tuesday, turning into Tuesday evening. Men's basketball up next after the women fall to 2-3. They lose to Azusa Pacific 65-49. Your biggest takeaway from what Coach Martin had to say, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I think this early season is just about a lot of adversity. You and I were here for the first exhibition game. They had a lot of different players injured, and so it was just kind of getting off the ground that was a start now. Now they have kind of another setback here with the starters they were missing today, and it's just getting through that, having a young team and getting through that. And there's a reason that your conference play is at the end of the year, and you get this early season to work out the kinks, and I think there are clearly a lot of kinks to work out, and I think Christy Martin is, while frustrated with games like today, overall has a positive outlook looking forward at this SMU women's basketball team.
Azusa Pacific wins it, and they head back to California with a smile on their face. 65-49, Cougars over the Saints. Come on back in about 25 minutes for men's basketball, as the men's version of St. Martin's basketball takes on Evergreen. For Scott Gladstone, I'm Sean Wally. Thanks for watching on the Saints Digital Network.